Hi everybody, I am Christa with the Big Family Homestead, and today I'm gonna make cranberry orange cake. So this cake is super delicious. It is tart and sweet and yummy. So, yeah. So here's our ingredients. We have 1.5 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. It calls for sour cream, but we're out of sour cream, so I'm gonna use some Greek yogurt. I think it'll be delicious. But that's 1 cup of yogurt, 1 cup of sugar, 1.5 cups of fresh cranberries, 3 eggs, another 2 tablespoons of sugar, half a cup of butter, and then some essential oils. Yummy, yummy. Now I use the doTERRA wild orange. It has a super awesome. Now this is not a slim fast diet or a keto diet or any other kind of diet kind of dessert. This is the holy smokes, don't eat this all the time kind of cake. So for the icing, you need 1 cup of powdered sugar, 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk, and some more of your wild orange essential oils. Okay, first thing you need to do, you need to get your oven heating to 350 degrees while you prepare your cake. Then I'm going to take my bundt pan, and I'm gonna grease it with some butter. And you know what? I use my hands, because you know why? God gave you these first. The more slippery, the less sticky. See what I mean? Okay, so now the 2 tablespoons that I had separated from the cup of sugar, you're going to take this and you're going to sprinkle it down on top of that butter that's in there. Nice and even. Well, maybe. Let's get this in here. See that? Just get it all nice and spread out, because this is going to make an awesome top of our cake. Spread around here. Yummy. Now, we're going to take 1/4 cup of our cranberries, give or take, and we're going to put those on the top around in the inside. All right, now we're going to set this off to the side, and we're going to make our cake batter. Now we're going to take our butter, which is nice and soft, and put it in our mixer easily. Take our 1 cup of sugar, and then we're going to cream these two together so it's nice, light, and fluffy. Ready, set, go. All right, so now it has been 4 to 5 minutes. Our sugar and butter have been sufficiently creamed together. Now we're going to add 3 eggs, and these are monster size eggs. Our chickens are doing overtime. But I'm gonna crack them into a separate bowl because, you know, they're fresh eggs. You never know what's inside. Oh my goodness gracious! There's 2 in there. All right, so I guess I'm gonna have to make a tad of an exception. This came with 2 yolks, but this is still considered 1 egg to me. But I'm gonna add them 1 at a time and mix it slowly. Okay, one very important tip, never ever put your spatula into the mixer while the mixer is going, because it breaks them. Look at that, I have a shiv now. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and add our yogurt in there. Like I said, the recipe calls for sour cream, but we didn't have any, so I used some of our yogurt. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add the 15 to 20 drops of orange oil. Now give this a good mix so that those things can get incorporated with the eggs and sugar. Okay, so now I'm gonna add our 1.5 cups of flour, our baking powder, and our salt. Now it's baking powder, not baking soda. There's a big difference. Okay, so now once those, the flour and the baking powder and salt have been incorporated really nicely, we're gonna go ahead and fold in the rest of our cranberries so we don't pop them with the mixer. We don't want our cake to be red. We want it to be a nice yellow cake with these red cranberries sparkled throughout. Okay, so now those are incorporated. We're gonna go ahead and put our cake batter into our bundt pan. Very carefully as not to discombobulate all those cranberries. Oops, just like that. Now that you've got all of your batter in there, I smoothed it all out. Now I'm gonna throw it in the oven for 50 to 55 minutes at 350 degrees. Boom. Okay, that's baking. We're gonna go ahead and make our icing while that's doing its thing in there. 1 cup of powdered sugar, 3 tablespoons of milk, and 15 to 20 drops again of this awesome wild orange essential oil. Now we're gonna go ahead and give it a good whisk. Now don't be deceived by the small amount of frosting we have going on here, because it's really not a frosting, it's an icing, it's a glaze. So it's just a little bit of sweet going over the top of that yummy, delicious cake. Well, we've waited our time, and I have a trick for these kind of bundt pans where the center is separate from the pan and there's a hole in the bottom. You got a can. Look at that. Now I'll take this and just free it from the bottom so that it's not stuck and won't fall apart. That was stressful, trying to get that out without it falling apart. Oh my goodness. So, the cake is out. We're gonna let it cool, and then we're gonna put some icing on it right before we eat it. Oh, I cannot wait. So yummy. All right, now that this is cooled off, we're gonna go ahead and slide this over onto our really pretty plate, hopefully, without it falling apart. And then we're gonna go ahead and drizzle our icing over the top. Look at that. Yummy. All right, now that this is cooled off, we're gonna go ahead and slide this over onto our really pretty plate, hopefully, without it falling apart. And then we're gonna go ahead and drizzle our icing over the top. Look at that. Yummy. Time to taste. Yummy. Look at that. Tart and sweet. Those cranberries popped inside the cake. Oh, so delicious. I'm Christa with the Big Family Homestead, and you have an amazing day.